everyone. Welcome to Fabulous Living with Angela Jones. I'm your host, Angela Jones. Hey, y'all. How are you? I hope everyone's having a wonderful Sunday. I am. It's a wonderful day. I've had a great week. I hope you have too. And lots in store for today. I've got a lot of stuff happening today. Have a very full show ahead. I'm very excited about today. Doing some things I've never done before, so I'm super duper psyched. As I told you guys last week, having my first performance on the show. Gospel artist Clifton Ross III will be here for the second half of the show. I'm going to interview him, and he's going to perform at the end of the show. So, super excited about that. So, we have a lot to cover. So, as you know, I have the blog, www.fabulousLiving.com, and I find it between my job and the show and other activities that I've been having a little bit of a challenge with writing as often as I would like. So I've decided to come up with something, and you're going to be the first to know. I've decided I'm going to come up with something called the A list. And what the A list is going to be, it's going to be a list that I curate every week. And it's going to be, let's say, it's going to be the creme de la creme of everything that I've found like on the web regarding fashion or decorating or a recipe I want to try, or if there's someone great coming in town, a new restaurant or a book or what have you. So it's going to be a little all-encompassing since this is a lifestyle show and I can kind of cover all those topics. Like I said, blogging regularly, I applaud all those people who blog regularly on this show. Thank you, Jay. That was great. Who blog regularly on the show. But the last time I blogged was what? 2 weeks ago. So this way, I will make sure that I'm putting some content out there every week, and it'll be a little hodgepodge of things that are still all related to the brand and that are, like I said, all lifestyle related. It's just going to be all of the things that I've loved that I want to share with you all. So I've already written the post. Look at me being all prepared and ahead of time. So I've already prepared the post. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post it after the show. But what I thought would be fun is I wanted to share with you a few highlights from this week's A-list. So, for starters, I wanted to share with you something amazing that's happening. Like I told you, it's Black Music Month, and we have DC Jazz Fest that actually started on Friday, June 8th, and it goes through the 17th of June. And it's going to be a number of different jazz artists, some international jazz artists, some local talent, national artists. It's going to be amazing. Some of the artists that are going to be featured are Lisa Fisher and her band. I don't know if you all remember Lisa Fisher. She was a background singer with Luther Vandross for like over 20 years, and she's an amazing vocalist. And so she's formed her own band. So she's going to be here. Leslie Odom Jr., if you're familiar with the Broadway hit Hamilton, he's going to be performing. So it's going to be a lot of really, really cool artists. And a number of the events are free next weekend at the new DC Wharf. So that's definitely something worth checking out if you're here in the DC area. Now, the other thing I wanted to share with you is, as you all have probably figured out, I love home decorating stores like Home Goods, all of that. Love, love, love. But Target now has a new line that they just launched this spring, and it's called Opal House. Jay, do you think you can pull it up on Target's website? It's OPALHOUSE. And I found some really, really cool pieces. One of the things, and everything is super inexpensive. One of the things I found was this. Check out this lovely tray. It's a wooden serving tray, and then it kind of has like this painted picture on the front with like a peacock. It's really pretty serving tray, and it's all hand painted. I got this for $20 at Target. Love Target. Love it, love it, love it. Some of the other things they had are, let me move over this picture. Just gonna move it over so you can see it. This is a plastic picture, so it's great. All the things I'm kind of featuring are kind of like some of their design, dining and kitchen stuff, but they also have furniture and stuff and bath accessories. Yes, thank you, Jay. But really cool. The Opal House line is very it's very eclectic, very colorful, lots of lush colors and very, really bold colors. And they have some of the design is more of an Indo chic kind of look, very boho, very bohemian. And then they have another section that's kind of more laid back, relaxed. I think it's called Canyon Sunrise. Really nice, but really cool pieces. I got this beverage dispenser for $12.99. And if you didn't know it until you came up on it, it looks like it's glass. $12.99, folks. Excellent. Now, we talked about last week the whole plastic paper plate thing. When I'm entertaining outdoors, I love to use melamine. And I think I shared that with you in one of the other shows earlier on. But this is great. If you didn't know, these look like china, look like regular ceramic dinnerware. They're plastic. They're plastic, very durable. And I got some in two different, they had a number of different designs, but I got these two to kind of mix and match. And they were $1.99. $1.99. Really cool designs and still kind of complement each other, but without being too matchy. So those are great. And I also picked up these tumblers. Again, if you didn't, these kind of jeweled colored tumblers, and they were only $1.99 at Target. I don't know how many ounces these are. They're pretty big, but I think they're maybe about 12 ounces. But love these. And they look like the kind of the glass, old-fashioned vintage tumblers that your grandmother may have had, but great for outdoors. It's great. Again, $1.99. And then if you watched last week's show, last week, I did the segment and I was in the kitchen and I had on, somebody asked me if I had on a dress. This was a dress. I know, because it's so cute. But this is an apron. And I would have worn it, but it kind of clashes with my African dress. But cute little apron. Also Opal House. Really cool line. Really, really cool line. And I got these adorable dish towels also. I think these were like $5. And they're so colorful and pretty. And they just scream like spring, summer, which is amazing. So Opal House. Definitely want to check them out. If you're kind of looking, I just kind of feel like spring, it's time to kind of refresh your home and do something a little different. So I think that's great. They're great. Great pieces. And like I said, very inexpensive. The other item that I had on my on the A list for this week is Honey's Gourmet Banana Bread. A friend of mine just took a leap of faith. She quit her job and she launched a gourmet baking company. And she sells this amazing gourmet banana bread. It's called Honey's because she named it after her grandmother, because she said her grandfather, she didn't even know her grandmother's name. She said because he always said all the time was honey, 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 honey. So she said, I'm going to call the bread Honey's banana bread. So I don't know if you can get a close-up of the bread, but it's so moist and yummy. My two colleagues, Jay and Bree, already tasted it and gave me their thumbs up, right? Said it was really good. But that's the bread. That is the bread. And it's all natural ingredients. She makes it here in a commercial kitchen here in D.C., and it's delicious. So please support my friend as she's kind of on this venture with her bread. And let me give you her, and I will put this is all going to be on the blog tonight too. But, well, yeah, I'll just wait and I'll post it. But I have all her contact information if you want to place an order for the breads. And it is $7 a loaf. And it's a nice, pretty big loaf too. So it's delicious. Really yummy. So, yeah. So check out tonight the rest of the A list, because I couldn't cover everything today. I had some other things I want to cover with you all too. So, but definitely check it out tonight, so you can kind of get all the rest of the details and check out some of those lovely sites and things like that. So that's what I'm going to be doing on the blog once a week, is the A list. All right, there you have it. So next, what I want to do here is to kind of piggyback on. Sorry, y'all, I'm having a moment. I want to piggyback on the whole Southern Sunday supper thing. And I think I kind of want to kind of keep that as a theme for the rest of the month. So today, what I wanted to do was, since last week we kind of did the whole meal kind of thing, today I kind of want to hone in on what is a Southern delicacy, and it is pimento cheese. Now, most non-Southerners don't know what it is. Most don't. But it is a cheese spread that you kind of make yourself. It only has a few ingredients. It's super simple to make, and it is so delicious. Most people who are kind of like, oh, I don't know, what is that? I don't know. I don't know if I eat that. They are normally, converts after they've tried it. So what I want to do is I want to make some of the pimento cheese spread for you here on the air so you can kind of see how it's prepared and see how easy it is. And as we're kind of going into summer too, it's a super easy spread to make. And just serve it with crackers, or baguettes if you want, toasted baguettes. But to do it really the traditional Southern way, you really are just serving it honestly with Ritz crackers. But I don't really do Ritz crackers, so I have some lovely multigrain crackers. But whatever kind of cracker or whatever you choose to eat it on is great. And for those who don't know what a pimento is a cherry red pepper. So it's a little sweeter and a little more succulent than a regular red pepper. So you would find them. Here are pimentos. Jay, can you get a close-up of these for me? I'll kind of put them down so you can kind of see. They're in a little jar. This is a little 4-ounce jar. And you find them where pickles are, olives, in that aisle in the grocery store. But this is what the diced pimentos are. So what we have here is in this bowl, I already have 2 cups of shredded sharp cheddar cheese. I already have that here in the bowl. And then we're going to do this the Southern way. We're going to go hard. We're going to go all the way. And we're going to use Duke's mayonnaise. Duke's mayonnaise is a very Southern kind of mayonnaise. It's made in Richmond, Virginia, so it's a Southern-made mayonnaise. So you can't have a Southern dish and not have, the real deal as far as what we put in it. So we have Duke's mayonnaise. And, of course, again, if you want to do this with Hellmann's or any other brand, feel free to. But today we're gonna do Duke's. So I'm gonna start off, and I'm saying start off with a 1/2 cup of the Duke's mayonnaise. I'm just gonna add that to the cheddar cheese. And this is something that my mom and my grandmother and my great aunt, like I've said to you all many times, this is definitely something that they've always had on the table, as a like an appetizer, especially when they were having ladies events and things like that. So I'm just going to kind of mix it in. And like I said, I started off with a 1/2 cup, but I'm going to add a little bit more. Sometimes it just all depends on how finely the cheese is grated. So yeah, we're going to just put a little more in there. And I love that it's so easy. I'm just going to squirt just a little bit more, not much. You don't want it to be super wet. You still want it to be really a lot cheesy, kind of cheesy, but you kind of want to make sure it's all kind of blended in. So then we're going to take some of the pimentos, and you want to kind of make sure you're draining them because you don't want the juice in there. And I'm just going to take about 2 tablespoons and place it in there. Now, of course, if you're making more, you can always, add, more of the pimentos in there if you want to double the recipe. But this is going to be enough to probably feed maybe about 4 people, 3 to 4 people. So it doesn't make a big spread. But if you want to double it, you could definitely do that. So yeah, we have a nice mix there. And then we're going to add a little bit of garlic powder to taste. And of course, again, you can add more if you like. If you like your things to be really garlicky, add more garlic powder. But I'm not putting a lot of garlic powder in it. Next, white pepper. Because for this that's just my thing. It's an aesthetics thing. When I have something that's like a white sauce for the most part, I like to use white pepper so you don't see the flecks of the black, the black pepper flecks in the dish. And then I'm using Himalayan pink salt. You can use regular sea salt. You can just use regular table salt, but I'm just using just a little bit. Just a tiny little bit of salt. You don't need a lot because there's already some in the mayonnaise and all of that. And then I'm just going to place it in your serving dish with your crackers. And then you're all set. And you have a lovely cheese spread to serve. You can garnish it with parsley if you want. You can put a little pinch of cayenne in it if you want to. But if we can, Jay, I'm going to lower this so you can get a shot of that. And there you have it, people. That is your pimento cheese. Really lovely. Really yummy. So there, we have that. And then the other thing that I have here is I decided that I wanted to make something refreshing to drink. And since I talked about the lemonade last time, I said, okay, I'll make something different. And I decided I wanted to make a pineapple spritzer. So what I already have in here is just some ice, and then I have 4 cups of ginger ale. And then all it is, and you can use Sprite, you can use seltzer water if you want to. And then I'm going to add some pineapple juice. And this is 64 ounces. I'm definitely not going to make that much. Well, maybe I will. So I'm just going to add that to... We're just going to go for it and use it all. How about that? I'm going to add that to the punch. And then, I'm always talking about simple syrup. This is 2 cups of simple syrup that I already made. So, and I always keep it on hand. I had it in the fridge. I didn't have to make it or anything. I'm just going to add just a little bit because it's already kind of sweetened with the pineapple juice and the soda. We don't want to put anybody into a diabetic coma. But that is our punch. I'm going to taste a little bit of it. I'm going to be like the Secret Service. I'm going to test it for you all. I don't want anybody to get, I want to check it out for everybody. Make sure it's legit. But I'm going to take it off the stand. So we don't need any problems and complications here. There we go. And this is great. And I thought, well, somebody could say, well, pineapple spritzer doesn't sound Southern. Well, in the South, known for hospitality, pineapple is a symbol of hospitality. So we're going to call it Southern. You can also add mint to it too. Okay, y'all. Here we go. Let me see what we need. No, it's perfect. You can add a little more ginger ale if you wanted more ginger ale in it, but to make it more spritzy, more carbonated. But it's pretty tasty. So yeah, there we have it, you all. We are set for a little Southern. If somebody were to stop by and it's a Sunday afternoon and you want to pull something together really quickly for someone, you could do this in a matter of minutes. You just saw me do it in 7 minutes, 5 minutes, somewhere in there, 5 to 7 minutes. It's easy. And then also going back to the pimento cheese, you want to refrigerate it for maybe about an hour or so that all the flavors kind of meld together. And you're set. You're set. That's all you have to do. So this leads me into our next thing here, our next segment. As I told you, it's Black Music Month. And today we're going to be featuring gospel music. Gospel music is very near and dear to my heart. I grew up, as I shared with you all last week. My mother's a musician. Music is a big deal. She's a pianist, organist. Music was a big part. My dad is an avid jazz lover and jazz aficionado. So music is really important to me. So, like I said, I did not want to let this Black Music Month go by and not highlight music. And for me, the very soul of all music for me is gospel music. Gospel music touches the soul, and for those of us that are believers, it is putting the word of God to music. That's really literally what it is. So I love gospel music. So I'm so excited today to be able to chat with a wonderful gospel artist, as I've been saying, Clifton Ross III, who's here in the studio. So I just kind of thought it would be nice to kind of, have a little something for us to partake on while while guests are here talking about, while he's here talking about his career and things like that. So we'll have a little something to nod on. So this is his first time here in the Listen Vision studio. So after a quick break, I'll be right back to have my chat with Clifton, and I'll see you in about 3 minutes. Right back. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fabulous Living with Angela Jones. I'm so excited. I am here with Clifton Ross.
Hey.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited too.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's see this set. Come on.
I'm trying, I'm trying
Fabulous living.
Thank you. Hello. Try to do a little something for
That's
the people.
right.
Just try to do a little something. So first, thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
Let me tell you all a little bit of the backstory.
Tell it.
So last winter, I was at
Costco, our favorite store.
Yes, mine too. I was at Costco, and this is something. I was at work all that day. All I had been doing was listening to Howard University's version of Even Me.
Wow.
And then I would listen to Kirk Franklin's Intercession. When you were here, when he did the 20 Years in One Night, when you came on stage
at
with
the
Jeremiah
Warner Theater.
Yes. I had just listened to that. So I'm just walking in Costco. I was afterwards just, okay, I'm gonna. And then I looked over after listening to him sing all day, and then there he was. And I know that's why I was like, Clifton Ross? I said his whole name, Clifton Ross? He was like,
You rolled down the window. But I mean, you came out looking all fly. I feel like you had on like pink, black and white. Like, it's just stylish. I remember.
I did. I had on a pink coat. I remember you were just like, look at you in this pink coat.
Fly.
Thank you.
As she is today. Fly.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem.
But just so sweet. And then I wasn't going to ask him for a picture. He was just like, you want to take a picture? I was like, sure. Just the sweetest. And I thank you for that. Because sometimes you meet people in person and they're not, what you think
I
they're
believe
going
in
to
being
be.
kind,
Absolutely.
My
Goes a long
parents,
way.
we were trained to be kind and just be nice to people. You never know how you might interact with them later on in life. Who knew
Absolutely.
A year later you'll reach out to me to be on your show? Like,
in
and
my
I
very
remember.
first performance.
Okay,
on my show.
We making history.
Yes, we are. We are. I'm so delighted that you're here. So delighted because I have been watching you since you were right across the street over there.
I know.
At Howard University. So it's just so amazing just to see what God has done. I'm just so, this is great. I'm just so excited. But for starters, let's take a little sip of see what you think of the pineapple spritzer.
Let's see. Very tasty.
Thank you.
It's refreshing.
Thank you.
Good summertime nothing. A little,
Yeah.
little hot outside.
Yeah.
Take a little sip of this spritzer.
There you go. It could have had a little more, I don't really like a lot of carbonation.
Yeah, no.
But
This
if you
is
wanted a
fine.
little more carbonation, you could have had that in there.
Everybody's going to have their own take on it.
Exactly.
But this,
Yay.
bottle it up, baby.
Yay. Woohoo. So let's dive right in because we have a lot to cover and I want to make sure I get everything in because Clifton is going to bless us with a song at the end of the show. So let's get going. I have a couple of little questions I have here for you. Let me be all professional now. So I didn't know this, that you grew up in Detroit.
Yeah.
So it was destined for you to sing. I mean, Anita Baker,
The
BB&CC Winans, the Clark
Sisters, Commission, you
Everybody.
name it. Everybody.
I did not know that.
So I literally grew up around singing. My mother sang. My dad played percussion. So music was always in the house. Music was always surrounded by us. And I loved watching my mom in her element. I loved watching my dad in my element. So it kind of just rubbed off on me. I loved going to choir school, going to class and being in the choir and singing. And so music has always been a part of my life. And it was something I just always loved doing.
Wow. So when did you know, oh, wait a minute, I can sing. I have a gift here. I mean, not saying you were being immodest in that way, but I'm just saying, when did you realize, I want to do this?
Well, it really hit me, I would say, my senior year in high school.
Okay.
I joined a theater company and we traveled the world singing, and I started auditioning for colleges. And at first I was going to major in like finance because that's what my mom was doing. But I was like, Cliff, you don't even like math. Don't do that, know.
Right.
And so finally, it just clicked. It was like, why don't you just do music? But then I saw Howard University had music business as a major, and it was out of my element. It was a risk. I'm the only person in my family to ever leave the state of Michigan. So I came here when I was 18. 15 years later, I'm still here. Wow. I have my degree. Hallelujah.
Amen.
And I'm just riding away.
That's awesome. And you know what? DC, as you know now, DC is a big music town.
It is.
It's not like a New York or an LA, but it's
its own thing.
Yes, we do. We have a very distinctive sound, and we have a lot of amazing artists who were birthed right here in this area. So, we've adopted you. You're not from DC, but we've adopted. You've been here 15 years.
15 years.
Almost half your life.
I'm a native.
You're a native. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna claim you. We're gonna claim you. So, like I said, I followed you since your days at Howard, and like I said, Howard. Let's just talk about Howard in and of itself. It has birthed so many music great. Acting, other things, other areas too. But we've got Angela Winbush,
Twinkie Clark.
I always forget about Twinkie Clark.
Richard Smallwood.
The Maestro, my favorite.
Donny Hathaway.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. You name it. It's so many. And so I'm honored to stand on the shoulders and walk the halls that they walked. Yes. It's like it gave me a boost. Like, if they can do it, you can too. And so, and then directing the gospel choir, that was founded by Rosalind Lynch and Richard Smallwood and just so many legends. And we just recently had our anniversary. We had a reunion, and so we got the chance to watch the original members sing their music, and we were all just touched. Like, wow.
I saw some footage of that.
You all decided not to give up, and that's why we're here. Amen. So it charged us to keep the torch burning and to just pass it along. Because if it's the flame is meant, it's not ever going to go out.
Absolutely. So tell me about your experience at Howard. You directed the choir at Howard. You were going to school too, and you all have a pretty rigorous schedule.
It is. It was very difficult. Balancing being the director. I was the youngest director at the time. I was 19, so I was still in school and directing the choir. And directing the choir was like a full-time job. Literally, we were touring every weekend. So, balancing that with homework was definitely a beast. And then, of course, Sunday Best got added into that. Then towards the end of my tenure at Howard University, I started working at Ebenezer AME Church. So, we were balancing. It's a balance act, and it was very difficult. I definitely had very super low moments, but it's all part of the journey. In order for all things to work together, all things have to happen.
Amen. Nothing wasted. And all of those things that you've done, you're still applying them. Like everything you learned at Howard, being the music director there, you're using at Ebenezer now as one of the.
It was my training ground.
Absolutely,
literally. And I think as you evolve, you don't forget the past. You use the past to help you become or evolve into who you're supposed to be. So I could never forget where I come from.
Absolutely,
ever.
Absolutely. And you're right here in your old neck of the woods.
I'm here. It does. I used to get my hair cut right here at Best Cuts. What? Every day. Anthony, shout out to Cuddy.
That is so awesome. So you touched on Sunday Best, and then that was another place. That was a national stage. Howard was definitely, that was one, phase, but Sunday Best was a national platform.
In front of millions of people.
Every week.
Pressure.
So tell me about that experience.
Pressure. Literally the most pressure I've ever felt as far as having to sing somewhere. Because it's not like singing in church. You're not being critiqued in front of the world. Everybody has their opinion. Yeah. Literally, I had to find balance. Okay. And in that. And it was not easy, but I was blessed to go on twice. So in 2009, when I went on, I got eliminated in the top 10. And then 7 years later, I believe I went back. It was in 2015. So I had a chance to grow. I had a chance to, figure out what my sound is and find confidence and fall in love with my sound even more. And I was ready the next time. And, I went in, I put my bags in the closet. I'm like, I'm not leaving this time. I am staying. All right. And I stayed to the very end, runner up. So, awesome. God is faithful, and sometimes when you don't get a chance to do as well as you feel like you should have, sometimes God gives you an opportunity to try again. And I couldn't pass up that opportunity. So Sunday Best has been nothing but greatness. You learn so much, and literally everywhere you go, people know you and recognize you, and and it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. Thank you, Sunday Best. Thank you, BET.
Awesome.
Love you.
Awesome. That is great. So tell me, from there, tell me what you did after that? So by the time you did Sunday Best, the last time you had graduated by
I
then.
had graduated.
That was just
I started
3 years
working
ago.
on my EP, so I kind of knew what my sound was. I knew what my message was, and just journey music. And so Sunday Best was a part of that journey. It was like, oh, here you go. Now I got to use all of these songs that we put together and literally put them to the test. I believe God. I'll wait. He never changed his mind. Just really applying those things.
Right.
God will put you in the fire just to see how you turn out.
So did you do the writing on the?
I wrote 1.5 of the songs, and
All right.
my title track, I Believe God, I wrote that.
God.
I actually wrote that during my journey at Howard.
Oh wow, that's awesome, awesome. So I know, like you said, in between your first stint on Sunday Best and then the second, I know you worked with a number of different gospel artists. And for those who don't know, I think I told you guys last week that this young man performed with Will.I.Am, multi-Grammy winner Will.I.Am at the Kennedy Center.
With the National Symphony Orchestra.
With the National, who does that? With NSO, who does that? That's amazing. Some artists who have been performing for decades have not had that experience. What an honor.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It's breathtaking. They sent me the music, and you hear the National Symphony Orchestra in the background in your headphones, and it's like, wow, they sound great because I love classical music.
Me too.
But then to actually get on this stage and to hear this beautiful symphony just going, I was like, oh my God, like they sound great. And then I get to work with Will.I.Am, and he hadn't heard my voice before the sound check, so we got a chance to experience each other. And so very down to earth, very chill. He was sitting there talking to because it was a high school choir, beyond the wall, School Without Walls, excuse me, and he got a chance to sow into them and talk to them and speak life into them. And just watching him work was a blessing to me, because it's like, no matter how many Grammys you get, no matter how high you get, don't forget your assignment. And that's just to encourage people to chase after their dreams. And he was doing that, so I left inspired.
That's awesome. And I know you do. You teach.
So
that's your full time. Your other full time.
My other full time, right?
I mean, because how many jobs do you have? You're like a Jamaican.
Oh
you got
my
a million and one
God!
jobs.
Don't get me started.
Teach, you minister at church, and you perform.
I perform, yeah. I'm a special events coordinator at a high school in Virginia, Bryant High School. Ooh. So I handle all events for staff and students. So life gets a little hectic, but it's what I do. It's what I love to do. So the sleepless nights are worth it. The staying up all night, being tired and pressing on. Somebody wishes they could do what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
So I just find time to sleep and I keep it moving.
That's right. Good. Well, since this is Black Music Month, I wanted to ask you, tell me who are your musical influences when you were growing up? And I want to know who's in your ear now. What's on your playlist now?
So I loved, like we said, growing up in Detroit, you're surrounded. So we used to go to Bailey Cathedral in Detroit. And so that's like a big temple, big cathedral, and all the concerts are there. Like, everybody that was somebody came through Bailey Cathedral. So I got a chance to watch the Clark Sisters, stuff that you don't see on YouTube, stuff that people didn't have, like big camcorders back then, back in the early 90s. So the Clark Sisters, Fred Hammond, Commission, I remember listening to Lexi, Kim Burrell. Everybody would just come through. So I got a chance to just be influenced by all of these great artists. And now I'm listening to the oldies and like the newbies too. It depends on what type of day it is. Like, I love Jonathan McReynolds' record. I love Todd Delaney. Oh my gosh,
I love Cycles. Did you do the Cycles show?
No. I let
them
do that. I let them do that. No. This is for church. It's like I just playing. Okay. No, there's so many. And then, of course, like all of my mentors that I got a chance to work with, like Vashawn Mitchell, Kurt Carr, Byron Cage, Richard Smallwood. These are people that not only do I look up to, but I've had an opportunity to work with them and literally watch them and serve under them. And that's kind of like the best. The dean of the chapel, Dr. Bernard Richardson, said, if you seek to serve, you'll bump into greatness along the way. Wow, so during that span between the Sunday Best and even now, I'm serving. Believe in it. Like, if you don't have a servant's heart, then what are you doing? You got to serve somewhere. You got to glean from somewhere. You need to grow your worth. And,
absolutely.
And do what you do,
I love it. I love it. So tell me, So I know you've performed with a lot of different people. Who's on your wish list?
To perform with or like to record with?
Or record with, yeah.
So I got a chance to, we did the Sunday Best finale, we did Don't Wait Till the Battle Is Over, shout out.
Yeah.
And we got a chance to sing with Yolanda Adams. And I love Yolanda, you know?
Yes.
And so to actually like, it would be nice to record a song with her.
Okay, Yolanda's people. I don't know if y'all watching my little show, but hit up your boy.
It would be great. It would be great. Her voice just it sails.
It
and
does.
It just literally it has its wings of its own. It's its own cyclone, and it just goes.
And she can do anyone's
She can
music.
do anything, and she can sing any type of genre.
She can.
And I love all types of music. And you know, we've seen her at the White House. We've seen her
Yes.
everywhere. And so you know, that's kind of inspiration for me. So
She's
her.
amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see. Have you ever seen the her at the Kennedy Center doing the tribute to
Oh, gosh.
Diana Ross?
Yeah.
Did
No,
she
I didn't
sing
see
"Reach
that.
Out and Touch"?
I didn't see
She
that one.
She had Diana Ross in tears.
Wow. Well, I remember
It was amazing. You have to look that up on YouTube.
When it was she sang with John Legend, Glory, and yeah,
that was amazing.
Oh my God!
That
Like
was- that was bomb.
I reposted the clip, but that was only after I watched it like 20 or 30 times. It was like, and literally, the whole crowd just charged up and stood up. Like no one could sit down while she was singing.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, she's a beast. She's a
Yeah.
force to be reckoned with,
Yes, she
and
is.
I would love to work with her.
Okay, y'all. From his mouth, Clifton's mouth.
Speak
to
those
God's ears,
things that are not.
as though they were. As though they
Yolanda,
were. All right.
it's coming.
So what's next for you, Clifton? Tell me what's going on next, what you working on now, and then tell people how they can reach you, and then we're going to do a quick change so you can go over and perform. So what are you working
I'm
on?
going back in the studio and working on a
Awesome.
complete project. So we're getting all of our particulars together and planning writing sessions and just figuring out what the next
exciting.
space is. It is. And like I said, it's a journey, but it's worth it. You know, I feel like God, like I said, God makes me live out all of my music. So I'm putting on my seatbelt and my helmet because I know it's about to be
Yes.
something.
Yes.
But, you know, it's worth it, and I know that's part of my life. I feel like when you know your pulse and you know your life rhythm, then you shouldn't be surprised when certain things happen. You're just kind of like, I expected that. Well,
Yeah.
that's why I have on my seatbelt.
Right.
Okay.
I love it. Tell everyone how they can get
Well,
in contact with you on social media.
Everything is at Clifton Ross III. Clifton
That's
Ross,
insane.
I, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Spotify. I'm on Spotify, and I actually have several playlists on Spotify that I'm listening to. Like, so you know, if you're on Spotify, make sure you sign up. You know. Click on download my playlist so you can hear what I'm listening to. You can also get my music. It's on all digital music outlets. So
Believe
please
God, Clifton Ross
get it.
III.
It's Journey Music. It'll bless you. There's one song on it that'll bless you. I promise.
Awesome. And what are you going to sing for us today?
I'm gonna sing my title track, I Believe God. Song I wrote.
Love it. All right now. So give us a minute. We're going to make a quick transition. And the next voice you'll hear will be that of Clifton Ross III singing I Believe God. We'll be right back. All right.
That was fun,
That was awesome. everyone. As promised, we are back with Clifton Ross III.
Hey.
He is going to bless us with a selection from his EP, I Believe God. Purchase it. Where can they? iTunes? Where else?
iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Tidal, Google Play, you name it, it's there.
Okay,
go get it.
Go find it. It's awesome. I've been listening to it this week. It's amazing. So,
Thank
Clifton
you.
Ross, I Believe God.
Say oh, say oh, oh, say oh, say oh, oh, wow. Listen to the verse. I believe in what you promised me. I trust in things that are for me. Regardless of what my present looks like, I know in you that it will be alright. I'll lift my hands and say I'll trust you, Lord. I put my faith in you and let go of my fears. I'll declare that I believe God. Oh, I believe in God, I believe. Do you believe? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You will do just what it is. I believe in what you promised me. I trust in things that are for me, yeah, yeah. Regardless of what my present looks like, I know in you that it will be alright. I'll lift my hands and say I'll trust you, Lord. I put my faith in you and let go of my fears. I'll declare that I believe God. Come on, put your hands together, y'all. Come on, do it at home. Say I believe God. I believe in God, I believe. Do you believe? Do you believe? Yeah, 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 yeah. He will do just what he said that he would do. This is my favorite part right here. I won't ever give up when things don't go my way. Or in life, when things just get too hard to bear, I remember God has not forgotten me. In time, things will work out for my good. So I declare that I believe God. Oh, 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 yeah.
I believe God.
I believe in God. I believe.
I believe God.
Do you believe? Yeah, 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 yeah. I'ma stay right here. I ain't going nowhere. Oh, 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 oh. Y'all at home sing it. I believe, I believe, I believe God. I believe, I believe, I believe God. I believe, I believe, I believe God. I believe, I believe. Come on, y'all say it. I believe in what you said. I believe, oh, yeah. I believe that you can, yeah. I believe. So when I'm lost, take my hand and you guide me. So I still believe. I put my trust in you. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Come on, put your hands together. If you believe God, I don't care what you're facing in your life. I don't care what you're going through. Look that thing in the face and say, you know what? I believe God. Say it. Hey, hey. See, I'm a believer. Oh, see, I believe God, yeah.
so much.
I'm honored to
My
be here.
first
Thank you.
performance on my show.
Hey, that's a praise.
Got Clifton Ross, y'all.
Thank
Clifton,
you.
thank you so much. This really
honored.
blessed me. I was waiting with anticipation all week for Sunday, so I'm so grateful you were here.
Thank you. I'm
and
honored to be
God
here.
continue to bless you and your ministry.
And God continue to bless you and everything that you put your hands on.
you.
You have
I
such an amazing spirit.
Well, thank
when
you.
you reached out to us, I remember, I was like, oh, I met her. I met her. She's sweet. We're going to do it. So,
Yay,
yes,
I'm so excited.
your energy is infectious.
Well,
so
thank
may
you.
God continue to bless you as
Thank
well.
you. I so appreciate
I believe
it.
God for you.
I believe God for you. Amen. 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 Thank you all for watching. Tune in next week. I'm trying to decide next week, so stay tuned. I'll post on my Facebook. I'm sorry, on my Instagram and when I blog if I'm going to come next week, because next week is Father's Day, so I kind of want to be with my family. So
I'll be home.
I'll keep you posted if I'm going to be here. But regardless, have a wonderful week. Until next time, blessings.